In January 2014, a cessation of hostilities agreement was signed by both principals in the conflict, South Sudan President Salva Kiir and opposition leader Riek Machar, calling for a phased withdrawal of all foreign troops. Almost a year now, Ugandan People's Defense Force is yet to do so. Kampala insists the Ugandan forces will maintain their positions until a protection force under United Nations mandate is deployed.
I think our stay there is helping because we're filling a gap. There would be more violence in areas where we are, including Juba. So the fact that we are there is helping to keep those strategic areas very safe to allow for peaceful negotiations to take place.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, approved the deployment of at least 5,000 troops in January, but they are yet to arrive. As the conflict in the world's newest state enters its second year, some Ugandans think it is time for their men in uniform to come home.
What is key is that that war is not our war. It's a war between the South Sudanese different groups. And it's an internal thing. So for us as a sovereign state, we don't want our government to get involved in the conflicts which are within different groups within the same country. If there were other people who would be attacking Uganda, for example, then Uganda would be more justified.
In my view, Uganda's role there now is more of a peace spoiler than a peacekeeping force. I think that we need to withdraw and let the regional forces take charge of the peace process in South Sudan.
Uganda is a member of IGAD, the regional grouping sponsoring peace talks in Addis Ababa that led to a cessation of hostilities deal. Unlike Uganda, which is fighting on the government side, a neutral IGAD force would ensure that both sides adhere to the terms of the ceasefire deal. Analysts argue that Kampala's intervention has helped to tilt the balance in the internal power struggle in favor of the current government, and that the continued presence of the country's troops is seen as a stumbling block towards the enforcement of the agreement.
Uganda is no longer viewed as a neutral force because when it intervened in South Sudan, it took sides. It became a partisan force fighting on one side of the conflict. In that regard, therefore, Uganda becomes a divisive force in South Sudan. And for any peace to be negotiated, Uganda's role must be reviewed, in my view, significantly.
In December 2013, Uganda sent in military personnel and aircraft to stop what it called possible genocide from happening in South Sudan. Baleke, CCTV, Kampala.